So our next film has almost all the signs of a classic Disney tale. You've got a princess, dead parents, but couldn't there have been at least one damn song? On Film Threat Reviews. I'm Alan Ng. I'm with Zorianna Kit, and today we review Raya and the Last Dragon, the latest of the Disney animated features. In the realm known as Kumandra, a reimagined Earth is inhabited by an ancient civilization of warriors, one of which is Raya, who is determined to find the Last Dragon. Directed by Don Hall, Carlos López Estrada, stars Kelly Marie Tran, Awkwafina, Gemma Chan. We can go down the list of all the great Asian actors currently. Sandra Oh's in it. I could keep going. And then Alan Tudyk is also in it as well. So what did you think of Raya and the Last Dragon? I'll just briefly say, I felt like I've been having this glut of Disney movies of just not really liking or connecting with it. And for me, this one I really connected with. What about you?
Oh, I really, really loved this movie. It was enjoyable for so many different reasons. The diversity, the all Asian cast here, and having it be an Asian themed story, yet universal. So it's not culturally specific. So and the whole thing of, fearless females, warriors, that, Disney's been going down this track, I feel, really, and has evolved really nicely. I mean, we have Elsa and Anna, the two feisty princess warriors. We've had Moana. This summer we had Mulan. It's moving really nicely, and this is like just another extension of these really cool heroines that don't rely on a glass slipper, don't need a prince. There is no romantic interest here, and I feel like I said that before on something else that we reviewed, that there was Mulan. I think that was the same thing. No romantic interest. So I'm liking this. Like, I'm really enjoying this, and of course you get all the animals that make it cute and cuddly.
All the marketable characters you need.
Yes, exactly. Like a little feisty little kid. You got a bunch of lemurs and a crazy baby. You have a
giant pill bug.
Exactly. All that kind of stuff thrown into there. It's kind of like an all ages fest, and it moves briskly.
Now, I would say for we boys, so far we've had Wreck-It Ralph come at us. So starting to feel maybe we're being left out a little bit here.
But there was no song here either, and I actually kind of appreciated that. I think
it would have been out of place to have music in this.
Yeah, exactly. Because we have Awkwafina. That's entertainment enough. I mean, she gives what she gives, and it's great.
Yeah. I will say, okay, so I'm Chinese. The Eastern region, China, Japan, Korea, they tend to, most films tend to be centered out of these three countries. And it was kind of nice to kind of go out of that region, go into Southeast Asia. And, my wife has been to Cambodia, and she told me that it's probably one of the most beautiful spots on earth. And it's just that reminder that the movie is just as beautiful as the Southeast Asian region of the world, and it's represented well in this. And I just love the bright colors that we get from Southeast Asia.
Well, the fact that they have different regions of Southeast Asia, you've got the ones that live near the water, the ones that are in the mountains. By having tribes in this movie, it really enabled the viewers to really get a full showcase of what this part of the world knows, which we don't get a chance to see in films anymore. I mean, it's just lovely. I don't know how else to say it. Like, my kids are a little bit older, so it's not something that I would sit with them. I think it's something that if they watch, they would enjoy, but it's not something that I would sit and watch with them, because they are getting into the older teens area. So it's always hard for me to sort of gauge I can't look through those eyes anymore like I used to when they were younger and I was reviewing films. So I have to look at it from a different perspective now, and it's more like the representation that's on there and what's happening, how films are evolving and how women are being portrayed, how different minority races are being portrayed in film. And I'm so proud of Disney for putting something together like this, and I just hope it continues.
I mean, after Mulan, I mean, you loved it, I didn't, and I was just so glad to finally have this. Biggest thing that I loved about this movie is just the story itself, especially the moral of the story, the lesson being learned here. It's this idea that there's this dragon gem that protects the land from an evil creature. And keeps it from with its borders, and one of the tribes is given the task to guard it, which makes all the other tribes jealous. And when the leader of the main tribe decides, hey, I'm going to broker some peace here, we're going to have a banquet, and we're all going to become one people once again. That's when jealousy comes out from the others. The gemstone is broken into 5 pieces. The creatures are let loose into the land, and it's up to Raya to basically find all the pieces and bring it together. And in the meantime, trying to build some kind of trust that she doesn't even have for other people. And to me, this message, it's a message of grace and forgiveness. This idea that, for peace to happen, I need to trust you. And what struck me about it is I feel like this message is just going to be lost on the world at the moment, because we are a much divided nation, a much divided world for that matter. And this idea that we're going to take the first step and say, I'm going to trust you, let's build peace. That's just something I think we've just not grown accustomed to yet, or willing to embrace yet.
That's a big task. I mean, honestly, because the whole thing goes haywire, and what sets the movie off onto this adventure is because trust was violated, trust was broken, and the actions of that broken trust, lives were lost, or at least frozen and made into stone. Worlds were divided, even more fractured, all because one person trusted, the other one violated that. And so despite that horrible violation, I mean, they had to continue to keep that trust despite the violation. It's a hard lesson to learn. Yeah. It really is.
This is a lesson for all people. And like I said, I it's such a great message. I walked out of it feeling so hopeful yet cynical that this is where we should be, but we're not going to be there.
No, we're not. We're not going to be there. But I don't know. Maybe we can have some fun with some dragons and armadillos as we try to get there. I mean, that's at least that's the best we could do, right?
Yeah, maybe the merchandising will help be a reminder.
What I did notice about this film was that it had some of these genres, like. Did you not feel that there was elements of like the Mandalorian landscape in here?
Yeah, I was going to say Indiana Jones. There were vibes of Indiana Jones. Yeah, even the early Force Awakens. I think there's a creature like that in there as well.
Yes, the Blurgs have been around since like the 80s or something like that in the Star Wars lore. So I felt like Disney was almost incorporating some of that aspect into this, where you really got the whole dystopian thing that's happening in Star Wars. And then there was another part where like the little baby and were they lemurs? I can't remember what
they were monkeys.
The monkeys. Okay. Yeah. They were doing some bait and switch distraction where all of a sudden you get this Ocean's 8 vibe of like this heist thing going down. Yeah. There was these little
I mean, it was, to me, it was like, is this really happening? Is a 2-year-old really being are we gonna have a 2-year-old action figure here now?
Well, yeah, I know it really was. You really obviously when there's a talking dragon, you have to suspend your disbelief. But the baby, I wasn't sure at first if that was going to work for me. But of course, my heart melted, and it worked for me, of course. So
you know, because the baby is introduced when Boone, who the street vendor, is feeding the baby and her monkeys, and then you realize this baby's sticking around.
Yeah,
and now this baby is doing some combat.
I know. But
yeah, and I'm going, well, this is Disney.
The other lesson that I felt was portrayed here that I really liked is that everyone has a part to play, no matter how small. Yeah. And when everyone on the boat learned that the girl with the purple hair was actually a dragon in disguise, they really jumped on board to, hey, I want to be part of this mission. I want to help. I want to do this, that, and the other. And everyone had their part. Everyone, like the baby was like a little combat distractor, you know. So the boy, he had, you know, he, in addition to being like the cook on the boat and feeding everybody and giving them the sustenance that they needed for their combat, he also like left and got on land and had his stuff. So the point is this everyone can help if you really want to, and everyone's part matters so much. No matter how tiny it is integral to the grand plan. And I really like that, because then that means we have monkeys and little babies partaking in saving the world, and that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So clearly you connected with the story, connected with the characters, loved the strong female characters, just the message, everything about it. I'm going to guess you gave it a 9?
I gave it an 8.5.
Okay.
All those things are great. I keep saying that word, great, lovely, fantastic. I'm not over the moon raving about it. It didn't totally just take me to some magical place. I felt that way when I saw Soul. That had a different effect on me. It really touched me from a deeper spiritual level. This didn't do that, and I didn't require it to do that. It's perfectly enjoyable the way it is, but that's why it's an 8.5 for me and not anything higher. I think you really loved this, even more so than I did. So I think that you're up there with a 8.5 or 9.
Yeah, an 8.5. It's not The Father. It's it's 8.5. And I would agree with you in the sense of Raya and the Last Dragon definitely fits in the top third of my favorite Disney animated features. There are films I love much more than this one. They could have added at least one song maybe to pump it up to a 9. It is to me it fits right there within the pantheon of Disney animated features, and I think it has its rightful place there.
Yeah.
There's certainly been a lot of bad Disney animated features, but this is definitely not a bad one. It's a good one. I think everyone's gonna love it. I think, my hope is merchandising.
Yeah.
Spend that money. Vote with your dollars there. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything bad to say about this movie. Like there's nothing you could say that's really negative. Like there's nothing really negative to say.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's probably the most beautiful. I'm trying to think of a more beautiful film than this from Disney, at least from the computer generated. Maybe Tangled is up there. In terms of just color, atmosphere, locales.
Yeah,
this is all over the place, and it's great. So So let us know what you thought of Raya and the Last Dragon. Comment, like, subscribe to the Film Threat Pod review channel, and with that, let's get out of here.